Hello family and welcome to my channel. It's a girl Germ Chris. And if you wonder what that's for, it's Gemma and Christopher all in one. If this is your first time on my YouTube channel, since I'm a new YouTuber, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell button so you can always get notifications and any of all my videos to come. Well, I'm gonna give you an intro of what my channel is like. My channel is everything life. We're gonna be discussing so many things. But first, I want to start with me being a single mother, especially here in Nigeria. Trust me, it's not hard. It's not like I'm saying that other countries or other single moms out there are not going through similar things or worse or better than what I'm going through. But I can tell you that somehow I get this feeling that here in Nigeria it's like we go through a lot because of the way the society perceives us. We're not being perceived as people who could make it in life or people who are normal or something. We're always being called names, or you know what I mean, you know what I'm saying. So I don't need to like expatiate on that. But I'm just trying to make it known out there that you don't always get to judge a book by its cover, because trust me, you ain't gonna like it. And you might see someone today as being a whore, but don't mean that that person can be a president's wife or the next Beyonce or the next opera tomorrow. That's just the thing with life. So you don't get to be a judge of someone. Being a single mom here in Nigeria is tough. Trust me, because no one really wants to associate with you, and anything that comes out of their mouth towards you it's vulgar. It's something that we don't really want to associate with. It's something that it demoralizes one. Trust me, I've been in that. And I know some people that might watch this video will be like, oh, you have a 7-year-old child. Yes, I have a 7-year-old kid, a beautiful handsome boy. But I can tell you that every day I learn to be a mother, and it's not easy. I've met people that will say, oh, I wish I'm like you. I want to be a single mom. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Like, don't even say that out of your mouth, because we single mothers, we know what we go through. And sometimes I feel like we should have, like a family about us being a single mother, so we can tell people out there that this is not, don't perceive us as this bad person in the society because of our mistakes, especially when we were young. I got pregnant when I was 19 and I had my son. I carried my son for 10 months instead of 9 months. And I know coming out, because I didn't go through normal delivery, I had to do CS. And even coming out of CS, being very fragile and everything, I still had to go through 3 months of coma. Then coming out, I still had to go through medications and trying to get myself back on my feet. It wasn't easy. But when I came back to the world, or let me see, when I came back alive and happy, I was so happy. Things changed. My perception of life changed and everything around me changed. But the one thing that didn't change was the way people out there perceived me. The one thing that helped me was my family. That is why I want to advise those out there. If you are a parent, you're watching this, and you happen to be in the same situation like my parents were 7 years ago or even till now, be strong for your daughter. Don't always feel that she can be something in life. Some parents are so nice that when this thing happens, they are not happy. Even with the girls that it happens to, no one is happy getting a child out of wedlock. It's a bad omen for me. That's how I see it. But it's something that it also has its curse and his blessings. And that is just how it is. You don't be that parent that makes already that child feels downcasted. You don't make that child more downcasted. Or you don't try to make the low self-esteem of that child so much more. Instead, encourage that child that that child can be better. And don't always put the blame on one person. There are two people in this relationship. Make sure that you also scold the other person. I'm not saying, some people will say, oh, you were the one that opened your legs. Trust me. Let me brief you a story of how my baby father is so wonderful. He's good and he's everything. We're in school, we're in love and everything. And shit happened and I got pregnant. And I wanted to keep the baby. That's just it. And luckily for me, he's not one of those guys that say, "Oh, I don't want a child right now." He told me, "Okay, fine, we're not ready for this, but if this is what you want, I'll support you." And till today, he has been so supportive, and I'm still grateful to God for that. It's not like he has always been supportive, but I can say 50% of the time when I need him, he's always there for me, and he tries to show me that we're in this together. So you also, as a parent, try and support that child. Don't throw that child away, or don't make that child feel useless, or don't make that child feel like that child will never amount to anything. Because trust me, that might be, if you have 7 children, that might be the only child that might even amount to something in life. And sorry, but that's sometimes how life can turn out to be. So being a single mother is not easy. It's not hard. There are 7 steps I always say how being a single mother has like really, I would say, brought me like my sense and made me to know that life is not easy, and I have to learn every day. Stigma. We have bad stigma that is attached to us and even the people around you, because as a parent, you also get to face some of these things your daughter faces or your son faces, whichever way it goes. Especially then when you talk about the religious background, being the fact that where I come from, my father was once a catechist. I know the way people looked at me. People perceived me like I'm someone that, like, man, my child can look up to her and everything. But at the end of the day, look at me today, 7 years later. I'm okay. I'm not someone that stands on the road and look for men. No, that's not me and everything. I'm not criticizing those people, though everyone has their own story. But you don't get to, I made sure that I didn't give people what they wanted to perceive of me. That's just it. Stigma, low self-esteem, religious background, family, society, and then overcoming fear. It is very hard. Sometimes I still struggle with that till today. There are some people that they still go through postpartum depression from being a single mom, because you're like, you have to do this on your own. Trust me, even when being with my family right now, sometimes it's hard. It is very hard sometimes. And then sometimes it's so simple, because I learned something. Accept help, especially when your family is willing to give it to you. Normally, single moms, we always have this perception of, oh, I don't want to burden no one with the mistake I did. Let me just be to myself. But trust me, sis, it ain't going to help you. That life ain't going nowhere. If you have friends, especially family or siblings, who love you and love your son to death, or love your daughter, whichever way it goes. I keep on saying son because I have a son, sorry. But whichever way it goes, trust me, it's going to be fun. And there are days they could even tell you, you know what, chill out, relax. You've been doing all the struggle on your own. Let me do it for you. And it helps, because sometimes I'm like exhausted. I'm like, oh, shit. But at the end of the day, I come out strong, and I try to make people's perception of me not be in a negative way, but a positive way. Because don't forget, it also sometimes, or most times, affects that child. That is one thing sometimes we fail to forget. And it has also brought to me a sense of responsibility, because right now my son comes first before anything in the world. Like, after God, my son. Before me, then my family. That's just how life is. Like, you have this sense of, this motherhood kicks in, and it's like, like, I can take a bullet for my son. That's how bad it is right now. And don't always forget, I always tell people, don't leave God. Like, be so close to God, because he's gonna make sure that you go through all these things in a very peaceful and a light manner. If there is anything you want me to talk about, anything, drop it down in the comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell buttons for more notifications from all my videos to come. I promise you, you're gonna see more of me, and we're gonna talk about it. Sis, if you're out there, you're going through this, trust me, you're not alone in this business. It's like, it's all of us. Any upcoming single mother out there, trust me, it's not a good idea, but if you know you're already in this, don't feel you're alone, because there are people who have gone through it than you, especially being in this part of the world where we come from. I love you, and to my next video is gonna be going into details about those 7 factors. I